Hey, how are you? I'm Tampa City Councilman Louis Vieira, and I am pleased to introduce to you my good friend, Mr. Trace Whitlock, who's right here with me. Trace is a young man who has cerebral palsy. He is non-speaking and uses an iPad to communicate in a power wheelchair. Trace has found writing to be a powerful tool for expressing himself. Trace is, in fact, an incredible musician. He writes his own lyrics, he identifies the beat, and he works with vocalists to create his songs, which are, in fact, on iTunes. Trace, if you could, sir, tell me a little bit on how you came into writing music as a musician.
I started writing in high school to avoid a cope with depression.
Okay, so you started writing in high school to cope some with your depression and some of your emotional challenges that you had. Yeah, and music and art can be such a wonderful source of expression to help people with different challenges that we have, and that's certainly true with our friend Trace here. By the way, all of your songs are available on iTunes, so I want to first talk about a song that I loved a lot and that I'm sure a woman that you know loves a lot, called I Love You Mama. In there you said that, quote, every surgery that you were there, every tear that went after the operation, I would go into depression from all the pain I was in. Trace, you talk about your struggles, physical and emotional, and how your mom is always there for you. I think the song is beautiful. It's a beautiful song. So tell me, Trace, how did you write this song? And tell me about your mother.
The surgery, I wrote that song a few years ago before Mother's Day.
So you wrote it just before Mother's Day. Yeah, and the song expresses a lot of Trace's affection and love for his mother, and he talks a lot about your different challenges that you've had and the unique role that your mother's played in your life. And I would encourage you to go listen to it because it is extremely touching. You also talk, Trace, about your strong Christian faith, and you wrote "He Is There," a Christian song that deals with your faith. You talk about God saving you when you're on the edge. You talk about how people can fail you. People are terrible sometimes, but God's always been there for you in your journey. And He is there. You say that you should get an Oscar because I'm an actor who's acting. And Trace, you talk about some very serious issues in this song and your songs. Issues like depression, self-infliction of violence and harm, and God picking you up when you're on the edge. So tell us, Trace, He Is There. Tell us about that song, why you wrote it, and what it means to you.
He Is There is about I realized that God has been there for me when people failed me.
Okay, so how God Almighty has been there for you when people fail you. So again, you're using songs to express things that are very, very personal to you and about a journey you've had with maybe people not being there for you, but God Almighty being there for you. In another song I want to talk about, Can I Be Frank? You talk about Emma and being blessed by her as a sunflower and friend in your life. If you're able to say, who is Emma?
My best friend, she is amazing. I wrote Can I Be Frank because I want to let her know how much care.
That's great. So you have a lot of affection for Emma, and so you express that in your song. I next want to talk about They Doubted, where you talk about your challenges. Tell me about that. You talk about being an overcomer at Bloomingdale High School, an overcomer with doctors. Tell us some about your journey through friendship and in overcoming the challenges in your life as expressed in that song.
I just thought about how much I overcame over the years.
Yeah. And that song is a really good reflection, Trace, of all the different things you have overcome over the years with the help of your wonderful family, who we'll meet in a little bit, and with the help of God Almighty, and through your own amazing hard work and spirit. Black Trauma is a song that also stands out. You talk about the murders of Ahmaud Arbery in Georgia and the murder of George Floyd in Minnesota, and is crying out for his mother, 8 minutes and 46 seconds being held down. Tell me about this song and Black Trauma. Why'd you write it? What it means to you?
As Black man who has brothers and sisters and father, so I can't just be quiet.
So you took, Trace, the emotion and the frustration and the feelings that you were feeling in 2020, and you wrote it in a song. Now, my favorite, Trace, because I listened to all your songs, And my personal favorite is Chuck A.O. Up. I love it. It's about fighting. It's about that natural human spirit that you have to fight. And the best part is that you name drop Creed. So, because I love Rocky films. My second favorite is Keep Fighting. To me, they're all very, very inspiring because they're all about fighting, that natural ability, that natural sentiment that we have just to persevere and sometimes against the odds. It's clear that you're a fighter, Trace. Is there anything more that you want to share with us about your journey?
Stay tuned, more music is coming from an overcomer. Here's my tribe.
So more music is coming from Unknown Overcomer. And I would really, really encourage you to go to iTunes and check up Unknown Overcomer and check out Trace's music. It's really, really good. He wrote everything. He did all the beats, all the lyrics, and all the lyrics really, really come from his heart. And speaking of his heart, we want to invite his tribe, his mother and his father, Tanya Whitlock and Mr. Maurice Whitlock, who are here. Very, very good individuals. Tanya is president of The Hive, an organization that advocates for people with disabilities with housing, and she's also a nurse. And Maurice is a retired Air Force veteran who now works in management training. So Maurice and Tanya, tell us about just how you feel about seeing your wonderful son Trace up here with his music and pouring out his heart. How do you all?
I'm just proud of him. I'm very proud of what he's doing, what he's achieving through his music. Especially, we've seen all the things that he's gone through, all the surgeries, all the pain, all the times in the hospital, and for him to be able to put that to music and be able to speak from his heart is impressive. And for him to do that without us writing anything, he just speaks from the heart. So.
That he does.
And I just think it's great too, just because I know that there is a need for more inclusion in our society for people with disabilities. And so it's kind of the best ways to break down the barriers that we have with understanding the disability community is listening to them and hearing them. And so the great thing about Trace's music is you clearly see into his life, you clearly see into his struggle. And also I think that many people, after they hear his music, they realize that, they can very much relate to what Trace has gone through, and that we all have, we're much more similar than we are different. So I'm proud of him for being a voice and showing that.
That's great. Well, thank you, Trace, for just showing us your heart today. Mom and Dad, thank you guys so much for being here and showing us your heart. And again, I really, really encourage everybody to go to iTunes and check up Unknown Overcomer and check this great guy out. I'm a big fan. I'm more of a Springsteen guy, but I really like your music. So thank you guys very much, and God bless you.